Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Natasha Kirchak here with ILTV's Morning Briefing. 17 people are dead and 16 more wounded following a massive shooting in a high school in Florida. The Israeli Foreign Ministry has just announced that there were no Israeli casualties, but several of the students killed were in fact Jewish. Former student Nicolas Cruz reportedly opened fire at the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School with an AR-15, sending kids diving under desks as they texted for help. 4 of the 17 killed are allegedly Jewish, and rabbis from the surrounding area are now offering counseling services for the families affected. Nicolas Cruz reportedly had been expelled from the high school in Parkland, Florida for, quote, disciplinary reasons. The shooting is just one of nearly 20 since the beginning of 2018 in the United States, highlighting an epidemic of gun violence yet again. There are 33,000 gun-related deaths annually in the United States. It looks like their latest tiff has been put behind them because the Israeli Prime Minister will reportedly be meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump next month. Netanyahu will be visiting Washington for the annual AIPAC conference, where the meeting should take place. The get-together will come after an awkward spat between the United States and Israel, after the White House shot down Netanyahu's assertion that the U.S. and Israel were discussing proposals for Israel to annex West Bank settlements. Netanyahu's far-right Likud party has been pushing to formally apply Israeli law to the settlements and allow unlimited construction in the settlements. The Palestinians claim doing so would destroy all efforts to try and save the peace process, a process they believe can no longer be led by the United States as the primary mediator. The White House doesn't seem to be worried, however. The U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is in the Middle East, and he told Jordan that the U.S. is as committed as ever to seeing Middle East peace. Now, this is scary. Israel is reportedly concerned that chemical weapons being used in Syria could spill over into Israeli territory. The Foreign Ministry fears poison gas could leak into the Golan Heights if the Assad regime attacks rebels in the region. As can be assumed, the Israeli government is promising an aggressive response if something like this happens. The Syrian government denies possessing chemical weapons, but investigations reveal the government used chlorine gas and sarin in at least 3 different attacks, killing hundreds. Now, the Israeli Foreign Ministry has sent a classified cable to 15 different Israeli ambassadors around the world, with guidelines to send a strong message against Iran, Syria, and Hezbollah. This comes just after last week's exchange of fire after an Iranian drone infiltrated Israeli airspace from Syria. Israel is asking its envoys to emphasize that Iran's entrenchment in Syria could increase the Islamic Republic's desire to continue attacking Israel, which could lead to a major escalation of hostilities in the region. Syrian state media has just reported that its anti-aircraft guns fired at an Israeli drone that flew into the country on Wednesday evening. The drone has allegedly retreated, but the Israeli military says it will not comment on the reports. Israeli security forces managed to foil a major terror attack on Wednesday after a trio of Palestinians attempted to smuggle several pipe bombs into a West Bank military court. A border police guard in charge of security checks at the Samaria military court noticed that the 3 Palestinians were acting suspiciously. After he saw one of the men holding a pipe bomb, he then called for backup. Security forces discovered multiple explosives on the men after conducting a strip search, but this is a second incident in just the last 2 days at the facility. On Tuesday, another man was stopped as he tried to smuggle a pipe bomb into the same courthouse. 7 Israeli soldiers have been injured after a landmine exploded under their army vehicle in the Jordan Valley. 2 of the servicemen have been flown to the hospital and another 5 more have been driven. The army claims the troops were performing a routine mission to fix a fence around a minefield and that somehow their military vehicle accidentally went over a landmine. The M15 anti-tank mine from the 1950s apparently got covered in sand, making it undetectable to the forces, but luckily all 7 victims were only lightly wounded. The Jordan Valley is packed with thousands of mines that have been planted by both Jordan and Israel over the years during wartime. Israel mined the area of Qasr al-Yahud along the Jordan River during the 1967 Six-Day War to prevent the Jordanian military from entering Israeli territory. But now Israel has recently promised to remove around 4,000 mines from the area so that Christian pilgrims can visit the site safely.
That's all for now. I'm Natasha Kirchak, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.